Greetings, Gemini. This is your reading for this new moon on the 1st of February, which is today in Aotearoa. New moon in Aquarius. So again, just a sentence or two from one of my favourite resource books, or reference books, I should say, Bullfinch's Mythology. Random opening at the page where we see Clytie. Clytie was a water nymph and in love with Apollo, who made her no return. So she pined away, sitting all day long upon the cold ground with her unbound tresses streaming over her shoulders. 9 days she sat and tasted neither food nor drink, her own tears and the chilly dew her only food. She gazed on the sun when he rose, and as he passed through his daily course to his setting, she saw no other object. Her face turned constantly on him. At last, they say, her limbs rooted in the ground. Her face became a flower, which turns on its stem so as always to face the sun throughout its daily course, for it retains to that extent the feeling of the nymph from whom it sprang. Well, that's quite lovely, isn't it, Gemini? Gemini. Oh, where's my microphone disappeared? So we're doing a general reading. Do check out your ascendant rising sign, of course, your moon, Venus and Jupiter as well. Overarching energies today, and we will go through and clarify. This has been coming out a lot in these readings. We've got the Five of Wands, a card of, delineating boundaries, whether that's your own, whether it's sort of responding to others. We need conflict sometimes in order to resolve things and to see where everyone's at. I mean, you just look around the world at the moment to see this playing out. And of course, it also occurs within ourselves. So, whether it's individually, an internal conflict, or, in community, whatever, general energies are, there is a level of conflict, Gemini. And remember, these are really general readings as well. Your choices at this time really are to embody that compassionate heart. And, it's not easy. It's not easy sometimes. We get it's not easy. We get the Empress, nurturing, creative, this consummate mother figure. But what I have been getting also through several of these readings is that with the Emperor as well coming up, that we really need to put in action, nurturing qualities to ourselves, for ourselves. And, if this entails some kind of meditation where you're holding your baby self in your arms and offering a lot of nurturing, a lot of love, then so be it. There's something here about self-nurture that may well be a really important thing for you at this time. The busyness of the mind can be quite a harsh and sharp sword, and we usually do inflict it on ourselves first and foremost. Traits for ease. I say that we get the Nine of Swords, which is a card of nightmares and catastrophic thinking, rumination, all of those pointless things that, there's one thing to worry or to be, put into action, some safeguards, to keep yourself safe and secure, but unnecessary catastrophic thinking is not something that you want to embody at this time. And so traits for ease is really try and push this aside. Often, if we do practice some kind of, compassionate meditation or act to ourselves to embody that, to encourage it. It fills a space which otherwise could be filled with this pointless rumination, Gemini. So it's quite clear here. Moving forward, we get the Prince of Cups. The Prince of Cups is an interesting character. It is an offering. It is a small offering in some decks. In the Thoth deck, we see the Prince quite easily distracted by his own reflection, actually. And it does, generally what's going on in the world at the moment, and whatever may be going on for you individually, Gemini. There is an element here which I hear, is that we see, sometimes we see what we want to see. Our own sort of internal thing is reflected out there. We pick up on what we're sort of, what's the word? Not obsessed with, but we pick up on, what sort of makes sense to us, What am I trying to say here? Yeah, there's a mirrored reflective quality about this Prince in the Thoth deck that is cautionary, I suppose. Don't be fooled by your own reflection. Not suggesting that Geminis out there are, but this is what the reading generally is seeming to. There's a thread running through this. We need to really be masters of our own mind at this time, Gemini. But with that, we had the Knight, yes, but we also have the Nine of Discs coming out, which is a wonderful independent card. Maybe we're not seeing what's around us as clearly as we have the opportunity to. This is a card of great independence, financial, across the board really. Often, metaphor, this figure in a garden, the garden is the metaphor for the soul. And it's a beautiful card. So, yeah, maybe it's a case that we're not seeing the strength of the position that we are actually in at the moment, because we've been sort of battling a little bit too much with our own mind. I'm sure some Geminis out there can relate to that. Now, let's just clarify the Five of Wands, Gemini. It's trying times indeed. Five of Wands. But, without conflict, I mean, really there is, nothing ever changes, does it? So, okay. So, we have, for these overarching energies around us, look, we're struggling here. This is very, we've got the Emperor. I'm not suggesting that you're struggling, but it's very hot here today. We've got the Emperor. Rigid, yeah. Controlling. We've got the King and Queen. I mean, we've got the ultimate King and Queen in this reading with the Empress in terms of choice. I do see it quite definitely as, this choice between this, what can be one polarity of the Emperor, this inflexible character who does not deviate from his program, her program, This is conflict, isn't it? Maybe we're having that within our worlds at the moment. We certainly are collectively, but in our own individual selves here, Gemini, we're having that sort of struggle. Wanting to have control. With this, then we have this wonderful, open-hearted, nurturing expression of power. We have a more controlling expression of power. We're kind of stuck in this thing. But with the Emperor, and seeing the nonsensical nature of it as well, we have the Queen of Swords, straight down the middle. This is like X-ray vision in terms of what's going on here. I mean, it does enough to jumble your mind up. Looking around, all the information that's available. Anyway, I am digressing a bit. Can we look at the Empress, please? Pardon me, in the position of choice, we need a loving and compassionate approach. We need a loving and compassionate approach. The feminine, I do get this, that the feminine here has been hurt. I mean, I do get that. If this is something, I mean, these are very general readings. But to clarify the Empress, we get the Five of Swords. This is something we can inflict upon ourselves. Sometimes we review and look at our behaviour and think, oh, that was a really stupid thing to do, or that was a strange way of going about it, just because there was a level of shame or something involved. Shame, usually. Humiliation. For whoever out there is watching this, we have a chance here our choice here is to heal something quite long-standing and quite deep, Gemini, is what I see and is what I hear. We have a chance for this. This is our choice at this time. We have the Hanged Man. The last couple of months have been very much thread running through everything. Pluto's been sort of at the forefront up there in the astrological sort of movements. We have a chance and a choice to heal some wounds, actually. We've got the Hanged Man now. Hanged Man state, we're in it for a reason, if you are or if you're not, whatever, however you want to take this. We are in it for a reason, and that reason is that we have time out in order to shift our perspective on something here. There's a choice. It's our choice to make. A shift in perspective. That's when we come out of Hanged Man mode. Now we need a lot of self-love and compassion to look at shame and humiliation and to come out the other end. We need a lot of compassion for ourselves. I think this is the emphasis on this, is really that we hurt ourselves more often than others hurt us, I think. It's a very mental kind of read. Nine of Swords, can we clarify please for Gemini? Nine of Swords, yeah, it's the end of this. It's the end of this rampant, torturous mind. Now, you know what I'm saying here. It's like, that's why people, do various practices, yoga, meditation, because the mind is a beast, We start to be able to sit with it and not have this constant dialogue of self-critique. I mean, I think this is a problem for a lot of people. We see the end of this Nine of Swords with death. We see a transformation. We transmutate this. This is our avenue of ease, Gemini. We transmutate this really destructive internal dialogue. So it's not coming from anywhere else. We transform it, and we are given, we give birth to a new sense, to a new way of going on, of going forward. This is the key here. Can we look at the Prince of Cups and the Nine of Discs, please? Too many. Prince of Cups to begin with for Gemini. Thank you. Thank you. And more. Nine of Discs, please. Nine of Discs. Beautiful, beautiful garden. I think the key here, as we see, with the Nine of Swords, rumination, negative thought patterns, worry, we transform ourselves from this. Now, we'll get a key for that as we are in Hanged Man mode. This is our choice, but the key is, kindness and compassion towards ourselves. I'm just trying to think of the term of that. I've got some brain fog happening. So we're looking at Prince of Cups. The key here and the Nine of Discs, to clarify, the key here is not only to share our resources. Instead of being in this sort of worry mode, we're not even thinking about what our resources are, but what are our resources? Shift the perspective here. We have things that other people need. We have things that other people appreciate, Gemini. So we're kind of shifting at this time from being so internal to actually being very aware of the importance of being involved with other people. This is what I get from this reading. It's quite unusual. Capricorn was quite unusual too. We have the Three of Discs, which is a card about pulling resources. Don't underestimate your resources. Sometimes what they appear to be to you is quite different than what other people see. It's the same about your own qualities. You may be quite unaware of certain qualities that others see, and they feel lucky to be around that. Do you know what I mean? This is what I'm getting from this. We also have the Hermit shining a light within. But the key here is in this shift of perspective, ditching the self-saboteur, and actually being involved in community of sorts. However, whatever that is for you is a wonderful thing here, because there's been a sort of a real sort of conflict going on. I do feel it's been going on for quite a while. More as an internal thing, Gemini. So it's really interesting. Now, Journey Map card. And Brian Froude's Fairy Oracle, we get data dreaming. Look, there's a lot of information that comes through in that dream space and dream time. So I guess, excuse me, the thing here is to take note of dreams, write them down, write snippets if you remember. As soon as you wake up, shapes, numbers, words, all those things that often we wake up and we think, oh yeah, what was that? Or write them down. Write them down at this time. They could be quite useful for you. And lovely Geminis, we get Faff the Footer, which is actually, I must say so, quite Gemini-like. We're on, we're off, we're on, we're off. Have we got both feet on the ground? I'm not suggesting that Geminis are airheads. It's nothing to do with that. There's a lot of other things that go on in a chart, but on, off, we need to really, the directive is to be quite earthed out at this time. Swimming, exercise, walking amongst the bush, being outside, really, really good stuff. Just remain earthed out. This is a really interesting reading, very cerebral reading. Give yourself a break, Gemini. On that note, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Take care and have a wonderful week. All you Geminis out there. Thank you.